In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 healing habits that can help you overcome your childhood wounds so you can experience fulfillment and purpose. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. In today's energy update for the supermoon in Virgo, I'm going to share with you 4 healthy habits that can help you overcome your childhood wounds so you can step into more alignment of fulfillment and purpose as we move forward in the new graceful way that we are intended to do in this new energy. So let's start first by talking about the energy of Virgo. As we know, Virgo is all about details, and what we're going through right now is wrapping up a lot of loose ends in a lot of areas. We're being forced to pay attention to maybe some details that we have ignored. And what is really happening here, there's a fine line that's taking place between thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions. And it's taken the polarities and the contrast of everything we've learned up to this point that's helping us restore and bring in some inner balance so we can harmonize that around and through everyone around us. And we have with the super new moon a triple trine at 25 degrees. 25 represents going through challenges that we should look at those challenges and expect the best out of them, knowing that they're helping us to transform and to become better people, better souls, and create better experiences. And in this triple trine, what that really means is that we have the sun and the moon connected to and an alignment at 25 degrees in a trine with 3 different planets. The first one of those is Saturn. And what that is doing is it's forcing us to take a look at rigid attitudes and thoughts and turn them into better routines, creating more healthier habits. And so I'm going to share with you, as I said, the 4 habits that can help you use this energy to your benefit here in just a minute. But the second planet that we're creating a 25-degree trine with is Pluto. And that concept is that when one heals, we all heal. So the healing that's taking place within us with these fine lines, these details between the dotting I's and crossing T's and the loose ends we're wrapping up, that is helping not just ourselves heal, collectively we're helping the planet heal in the process. And so the third planet that's coming together here in this triple trine is what I would consider the most important part of this whole journey. And that is with Jupiter at 25 degrees. Jupiter represents fusion. And what that means is 2 things are happening, say between your head and your heart, your mind and love. And what's happening between the 2 polarities, they're coming into such an integration, such balance, and such harmonization that you can't even discern and separate the 2. So that means when I said that you're having this fine line between your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your actions, which action you take or which direction you go or which thought you have, or when you're trying to create awareness and discern between what route you should take, left or right, it's such a finite fused connection that you can't even discern or separate which way to go, which is putting you in a place of really a lot of deep trust. And so I want to share with you those 4 habits that can help you take this concept of this fusion and move forward in a way that you can really create new habits, healthy habits, so that you're able to heal those childhood wounds that this is all stemming from, that's created these conditions so that you can move forward with loving relationships and experiencing more fulfillment and purpose in all areas of your life. So the first healing habit that you need to think about in this energy that you can use this to help you propel faster, further, is to toss your toxic habits, to make a conscious choice to let go of all limitations. And I've broken this down into 4 parts of ways that you can think about tossing your habits. The first thing is anytime we want to release something, we want to bring in the new. So the first part of that is you need to think and work towards renewing your mind. You need to focus on negative self-talk and catch yourself doing it and reprogramming it to the point that you can implement new patterns of thought through affirmations, meditations, and things that you can do to reframe and reformat your old pattern. So renewing your mind is going to be so important because it's those belief systems that we were taught, that we're hanging on to, that's blocking us from being able to create our own belief system, our own truth out of that. And so work on ways to renew your mind during this energy. The second part of that is to restore your heart. And what that really means is you need to love without walls. You need to learn that it's not just about giving, but it's also about receiving, and that when you love, you need to expect a return in harmony. So make a list and look at the things and the areas you put your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, your time, talent, the things you love that are meaningful to you. And if you're investing energy and attention and love into that, but you're not getting in return what you expect out of it, which at this stage of the game you should expect in return, then you need to shift where your energy is going in that. But on the flip side of that, you have to be aware and be cautious not to allow yourself to receive as well, to be open, to allow to yourself to receive. But at the same token, like being open technically means that you're allowing yourself to love without the walls and not blocking it from coming in. But then actually the receiving part could be linked to your worthiness or not deserving to believe you deserve these things. So you need to pay attention, because that open and receiving are 2 parts that could be blocking your giving and your receiving in harmony. The other thing is you need to be resting your soul and to know that no matter what you are doing and how much you've done, that it's enough. And that what you put into that is, long as you showed up and you showed up at the best you could, it may not have been your best, but the best you could under all circumstances, this is going to allow you then to honor the outcome of whatever it is that you're putting that attention into. And being able to, from that place, acknowledge the effort of showing up, accept the results of that, then show some appreciation for the fact that you showed up, and then allow yourself to just be with wherever that is and stop judging it, and being able to come into a place of acceptance that it is enough. And then the 4th part of this would be that you are relaxing your body and that you're rejuvenating things such as physical therapies that's allowing you to allow the body to relax. So hot baths or massage, energy healing, and focusing on chakras such as the heart chakra right now, because the heart chakra is being blasted to expand right now, which means you might be hitting some deep, painful things that's helping to open the heart. Your solar plexus is also being affected, that's in this process setting you up to trust more of what's going on around you. So there's a lot of resistance to maybe let go of, so you can surrender to what's happening. And then the root chakra repairs are really, I'm seeing a lot of those right now, in a place of people that are like hitting in this process of going deeper, even if you've done work on your worth or how deserving you are. You're going through another layer of it, the deepest layer, being forced with yourself in the corner so that you can learn to deserve, love, let go of your inability to feel worthy to receive. And so what this is all requiring you to do in this idea through the tossing the toxic habits of renewing the mind, restoring the heart, resting the soul was a part of that I was talking about, where you're acknowledging, accepting where you're at, and stop judging yourself. And then the fourth is relaxing your body. So it's all asking that you get grounded, get centered, and get balanced. And all these things that you are being forced to look within to accomplish this ability to transform those toxic habits into healthy habits. So the second healthy habit for you to focus on during this energy is learning to make sure to say no, but stay open. This is that infusion I'm talking about, and that fine line I'm talking about, of learning the difference and being able to, at the same time, know the difference between power and grace, but infusing it in such a way that you can walk in power and grace at the same time, and integrating basically your shadows and your light. And we've talked so much about this integration and the embodiment of the awakening, say, to our shadows, that we're seeing that a lot of times, the twin flame is coming in for us, forcing us to face and see our own shadows, because their shadows reflect to us our shadows. But then once we see their shadows, we need to look at that and where does that exist basically within ourselves, and being able to acknowledge that shadow, love that shadow, accept that shadow, being able to allow that part of ourselves to come forward so that we integrate and we awaken, and then we integrate with it. But from the contrast and the polarity of being able to say no and set a boundary, but being able to stay open to receive. This is what I'm saying this fusion is about. It's about a fine line between which side of the coin you're on, and realizing that they both exist, and that at any given moment of any given day, you could be asked to do both, and maybe even in the same situation. So it gets super confusing trying to separate that, and you can't separate it because it's all perfect, and you're infusing with them, bringing them into balance, and then being able to let both happen at the same time. So the third healthy habit that you can implement during this time is learning and discerning the difference between need and desire. Need is coming from a place of separation. Need is coming from the triggers and the wounds that's creating a trigger to your abandonment and your betrayal, triggering that childhood trauma and experiencing a lot of emotional pain that comes up as a shadow to bring light to it so that you can heal it. But what's really important to understand in this infusion, in this polarity of what's happening, is that to know this difference in the need and desire is because that's the part that's been healing. And now what's coming up and making it confusing, the difference between a need and a desire, is the desire now is to take responsibility for what you need, and then standing in that truth, accepting and allowing yourself to receive that which you want. This is some really deep stuff because it's intertwined in this infusion I'm talking about here. And trust me when I tell you, I've been going through like all of these things, and I'm seeing a lot of clients go through all these things. And so I've been tracking it down to realizing the connection of this trine with Jupiter, and realizing, well, no wonder this infusion is exactly what's happening in the energy I'm seeing with people. So I know if you're going through this infusion as well, and everything's so meshed, you can't discern between which action, which thought, which feeling, and they're coming from the contrast, tell me below, because I just want to see how this is affecting other people, because that's what this energy really is happening for, and the finalization of a lot of details, as I mentioned. So knowing this difference and your need And your desire is going to be so important so you can learn to focus on the healing of the need, but allowing of the desire. Okay, this is huge. I cannot tell you how huge that is, so that you can stop blocking yourself from receiving that which you deserve and let go of any fears and your ability to give because you're in fear that you're not going to receive. This is huge. So the fourth healthy habit I want you to start to incorporate during this energy is what I'm calling whack the wheat. And that means it's harvest time. That means it's time to receive your rewards. And that means that you need to go through all these other things that I've just mentioned to be open so that you can then receive. Being open is let down your walls, let go of your expectations from a sense of separation, but give grace and gratitude for where you're at. That's going to allow you to then be open to receiving, heal those traumas, heal that root chakra, become worthy and deserving and standing in your truth with clarity, so that you know that when you show up, it's more than enough. And then therefore, you should expect a reward. You should expect your harvest. And all of these things are kind of like these habits are really like whacking the wheat and getting yourself ready and let go of how you're going to receive or bring these things in. Know that if you show up as in that 25-degree trine of that energy of saying that you know, basically expect your reward, expect your harvest, but do it from a place of abundance and blessing, because you can never have more than you have until you're grateful for where you're at and what you have. And that is including the pain you're going through, the experience you're going through. So maybe look around right now, just stop right now. And I want you to just dig in your heart and find someone that you're grateful for. Find something that you have that you're grateful for. Find an experience that you're grateful for. Paying attention to these small gifts in your life, whether they're feeling good or bad, they're here to assist you and help you, and it's for you, not to you. So find this gratitude, step into the grace of it, become open to receiving, and then allow yourself to receive. And then knowing that you're worthy and deserving. And this is and that you don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. You just got to stand up and show up every day from a place of love or above, and knowing I've done all I can do, and now it's time to receive. That's what this timeline is about. That's what this energy is about. It's about you receiving. But you got to be ready and you got to be prepared. So if you need some assistance with healing these childhood wounds, make sure you check out my Reprogram Your Childhood Wounds course below, so you can experience loving relationships and stop attracting people and partners that are going to trigger those wounds. The first module is free. And that first module is about discovering why you chose your parents and what major lesson that you chose to learn from them, so that you can come into a place of healing with that, acceptance of that, allowing of that, so that you can then see why you keep attracting partners that are triggering those wounds you have not healed. Can't stress enough this childhood wounds programming that you keep hearing me talk about, because I keep getting client after client after client showing up in a space of needing healing of these wounds. So make sure to check that out. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps support the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell and hit subscribe so you'll know when the videos go live. And I'd love to hear more about what you're experiencing in this infusion for this timeline. And may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.